Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Stephen Mangan. In the news this week, near Pyongyang, army chiefs regret putting on a huge banquet for Kim Jong-un before he examined a new state-of-the-art submarine. In Moscow, at Russia's May Day parade, there's evidence that the president of Slovakia's piles have flared up again. And in Basel, during rehearsals for the Eurovision Song Contest, there are questions over how one performer in Moldova's entry made it past the censors. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who recently won Pointless Celebrities, where she demonstrated her ability to score an unbelievably low number of points. That'll be annoying for Ian, who normally gets loads. Please welcome Chloe Petts. On Paul's team tonight is a comedian and writer who played Satan in the sitcom Old Harry's Game. He had to stop as Satan's views gradually became seen as mainstream. Please welcome Andy Hamilton. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Paul and Andy, here are yours.
Right, that's got to be the most boring race I've ever seen.
Where'd you get their flowers?
Oh, the traditional sword dance with the journalist missing.
Yes, it's Donald Trump in the Middle East. He was in Saudi Arabia, where he was talking about he's very impressed with the gold palaces. And he's also been given the present of a jet, a Boeing 747, which he's going to sort of use for presidential purposes. And then when he stops being president sometime in the year 2036, he will have it for his own personal use.
But he's out there promoting peace by selling everyone warplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive arms deal.
Yeah.
Worth $142 billion.
Lovely.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Good.
That is according to him.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
The last deal he did, he announced it was worth 8 billion trillion, and it turned out it wasn't.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying everything he says isn't true, but it is.
What did Trump spend 11 minutes doing?
Was it praising the leader?
He spent 11 minutes shaking hands with a seemingly never-ending queue of Saudi dignitaries. We've got some edited highlights of that.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
You want to see that?
Yes, please.
Here he is. 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Oh. Someone went a bit rogue. And there was an awkward moment when someone who wasn't welcome somehow got into the line. Let's have a look at that.
When he starts talking, there's a full 20 minutes where he goes through the election results in the US.
Yeah.
And you can see that various heads of the Emirates and Saudi going, what? He goes through the regions and he tells them the swing.
Wow.
And he says it was a brilliant election. And everyone's going, what?
Probably thinking, what's an election?
I mean, they showed a clip of him and there was an interpreter alongside him in the Middle East. And I thought, what's the point of that? How's he going to translate into Arabic? He's just said a whole string of words that I've no idea what they mean. I mean...
Maybe he just sort of sits there going like that.
He said of the Saudi president, he said, handsome guy, young guy, strong guy. And it's just, Donald, you could get arrested for that there. You've got to be very careful. But I quite like that that's the metric by which he's ruling a country, by hotness.
Right.
Well, not in Saudi. It's pretty hot there.
I was talking about being, like, fit.
I'm sorry.
Also, he called him attractive, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said young, attractive. And that is what Macron tried to exploit. Do you remember in that first term? Suddenly, you remember Macron was all over him, cuddling him and kissing him?
Yeah.
I think they're clearly...
I don't remember
that?
Yeah! Yeah, I was in a hotel and I put it on and there was this channel. I remember now.
Yes, that's right. And Melania burst in on the bedroom and Macron and Trump were in bed together.
Yeah.
And Trump looked up and said, "It's called diplomacy."
Week of the state visit. Do you think it's going to happen? I don't think the King's going to let that state visit happen.
Do you not think?
No, I think someone at the White House is going to get a phone call from one of the Prince's staff saying, you won't believe what's happened. we've only found out that Windsor Castle's full of asbestos.
What did Trump get that was purple but is usually red?
Oh, I don't know about
here
that.
we go.
I don't think we should go there, should we? What did he
should.
get as purple that's normally red? Carpet, purple carpet.
That's absolutely
Yes.
right, yes. If you roll it up, you can still get a kidnapped journalist in it. There's some fake news around his dietary requirements. Do you know what that was?
Oh, they got a McDonald's truck.
Yeah.
Was that fake news, though?
Well, it was said that Trump asked for it.
Oh,
but
right.
Actually, the Saudis arranged it. Here's the truck.
I mean, but it's a bit cruel on their part because they put some stairs in there but no doors.
What's wrong with Trump accepting a personal gift of a $400 million plane?
Well, it's against the American Constitution, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The presidents aren't allowed.
Well, there's a limit on the amount
Yes,
of value
is there?
of a gift a government employee can accept. Any idea what that limit is?
$45.
It's $480.
Oh, is it?
So he's not much over then.
It's close. It's close.
But it's also like illegal to assault women, but he also did that as well. So it's not really going to stop him, is
Right,
it?
no, it's not. It's not.
Well, it said it goes to the presidential library.
Yeah.
And there are very few libraries in this country that have their own planes.
Yeah.
If it's in a library, can you go there and ask to take it out?
Somebody has to stamp it.
The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has come up with a legal technicality that allows Trump to accept the gift based on what principle?
Craven cowardice.
Well, close. It's the principle of it would be stupid not to. What's Trump giving in return for this 400?
Well, this is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Melania.
Do we...
Listen, have you seen Melania recently? She's not out there. She's not been seen. There's a funny new bump on the White House lawn, apparently. I just thought it'd be fun to start a rumour that
Yeah.
he's murdered his wife.
Well, in return, he's building a $4.2 billion golf course in the Qatari desert.
So if he's building a golf course in the desert, aren't the sand traps going to be rather extensive?
He insists the Qataris' gift of a brand new luxury airplane comes with no strings attached. And the US presidential plane has been renamed Air Force You Owe Us One.
I thought it was going to be called Sleazy Jet.
Yeah.
Good.
Starmer's going to be furious, though, isn't he?
Is he?
With the Qataris. Because he appointed himself as groveller-in-chief when he went along to the Oval Office, you know, and handed over that envelope containing his dignity. I think it's quite unfair of the Qataris, the way they've out-grovelled everybody else.
Yeah.
Because they're a fantastically rich country, so they can give him a plane. How's Britain supposed to compete with that? What can we give him? A
pedalo.
family ticket to Thorpe Park?
Yeah. Trump said, we have a special relationship to the Saudi leader. I mean, he used the exact words, and this is his first visit, which suggests that, I mean, this is incredible to believe, but Britain is not the most important country in the world.
Wash your mouth out.
Who else came on the Saudi trip with Trump?
Elon Musk.
He did.
Yeah.
Let's see how much fun Elon Musk was having.
I bet he's having a great time.
And Trump's told a story about a businessman that is believed to be Musk this week. Let's have a look at Trump telling this story.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. Highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?
Is he going to put a tariff on Ozempic now?
Musk was a keynote speaker at the US-Saudi Investment Forum, which sounds fascinating. What cheery prediction did he make?
Was it AI?
No. Musk said, ultimately, there will be tens of billions of humanoid robots roaming the Earth. Let's have a look at one of them. They're very lifelike, apparently, these humanoid robots. They have detachable hands for the Saudis. At the end of the investment forum, the Times reported the Crown Prince and the President shook hands as the village people's YMCA blared out.
Just kiss already.
I know. Well, the Saudi secret police were taking down the names of any locals who seemed to know the dance. What about China?
Who are you doing there?
It's like he's in the room, isn't it?
Yeah, but we don't know who it is.
I knew.
I know. It's John Inman. Are you being served? I'm free. Yeah, that's him.
What about China?
I'm free.
How's the trade war been going?
Both he and China have reduced the tariffs back down to 10% from being 300% each. So they've got reciprocal tariffs, which are exactly the same. And beforehand, they weren't anything.
Yeah.
So he's achieved nothing at all.
Who's going to the peace talks on Ukraine in Turkey?
Not Putin.
No.
Yeah.
Trump says he might go.
Right.
But then he said he wouldn't go.
I think this strategy that Putin had of keeping people guessing whether he's going, it's very unfair on the caterers.
Yeah.
Yeah. President Trump won't be going, and he said of Putin, why would he go if I'm not going? Because I wasn't going to go, but I wasn't planning to, but I would go, but I wasn't planning to go, and I said I don't think he's going to go if I don't go. Like, oh, my God, Don, you're so right, he's such a bitch, but you should totes call him. This is the news that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia welcomed Crown Prince Donald Binfire of America. Trump was accompanied by several US businessmen, including Elon Musk, who had come to Saudi Arabia hoping to sell a lot of driverless cars, particularly to women. Qatar has presented Trump with a lavish gift in the form of a $400 million Boeing jumbo jet described as a palace in the sky, prompting Camilla to say to Charles, you may need to give him something else to go with the Duchy Originals marmalade. Ian and Chloe, here are yours.
That's it. Come to me. That's Enoch Powell. That's him looking out to sea, looking for ideas.
There's Yvette Cooper doing something or other. It looks like that man's holding a lactation device, and this man looks like he can lactate beer.
Oh, that's a horrible image.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow. Nigel Farage with beer spouting from his breasts. He's going to stay with me.
I think that's lovely.
What's going on here?
The Labour Party have decided that now is the time to get tough on immigration. And Starmer made it absolutely clear that this has got nothing to do with Reform winning all the seats in the local election and losing the by-election. And this is what all new governments do in this country. They come in and they say, we're going to stamp down on immigration. Then they find out that quite a lot of industries need workers, and particularly the care industry. But there has to be some policy, and successive governments haven't found one. And Keir is going to sort it out. You know what's that groan for?
I Quite often their answer is, oh, AI will fix all this,
Yeah.
isn't it? But AI won't empty the bins and the bedpans, you know. AI is... It's just software.
Oh, you don't know. I mean, you say that. I mean, I can imagine a robot saying, had another piss this morning. Salute you if it takes away your piss in a bucket. That's my dream.
Which phrase did Keir Starmer use that was particularly controversial?
Well, he said island of strangers.
Island
Yes.
strangers.
And Enoch Powell said strangers in their own country.
What is it? Keir Starmer's Island of Strangers, Enoch Powell Islands in the Stream?
Straight in.
And to be fair to some, the tone was very different to Powell because he didn't say it in a sinister, creepy voice. The way, because
He did a bit.
Yeah, but if it was Powell, he would have said, "We could be living on an island of strangers." See, that was almost as good as your John Inman.
It sounded...
It's only been Liverpudlian.
I thought it was
how he
Paul
spoke.
McCartney.
Yeah.
No, he spoke like that.
I remember when I first joined the Beatles.
He had two options, right? He could sort of go the way of reform or he could rebel against reform.
Yes.
And he's just sort of, he's gone round the back of the bins and been like, all right, Nige, you know, sort of...
Yeah.
Nige is there smoking his cigar. Keir's probably having a watermelon vape.
We keep saying on this show, the number of illegal immigrants is very small, the number of legal immigrants is very, very large. And the Conservatives let in, you know, in 2023, 900,000 people. So if you're letting in 1 million people in a year, in 10 years, that's 10 million. In 20 years, which isn't that long, you've added a third again to the country. So you do have to do something.
Well, I mean, we should have a sort of Chilean spirit, because during the war, we managed to stop the Germans getting here, didn't we?
Yeah.
So you're saying everyone's welcome apart from Germans? Is that your immigration?
That could be a slogan, certainly.
What, stop the crowds?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, I think that's a bit racist. Up yours for it to do for me.
The actual measures, one of them is, as I understand it, that you won't be able to get into Britain unless you have a decent command of English. So I think that's a lot of British holidaymakers who are not going to get... That's it.
That's rather snobbish, Andy.
Yeah, there is a... Yeah, no, there is a
bit.
snob inside me.
Plaid Cymru MP Liz Saville-Roberts had a question for the Prime Minister in PMQs. Shall we take a look at Liz in action?
Yeah.
So I ask him, is there any belief he holds which survives a week in Downing Street?
Yes, the belief that she talks rubbish. Mr. Speaker.
That was a good comeback.
Yeah.
And the bloke sitting next to her turned around and said, he got you there, didn't he?
I believe that's called a drive-by.
Yeah.
It had a mixed reaction from the two behind him, because Rachel Reeves thought it was hilarious, but Angela Rayner didn't. Should we have another look?
Yeah.
Yes, the belief that she talks rubbish.
I think Angela Rayner's angry because she was going to do that gag.
Yeah.
Is any other country less bothered than the UK when it comes to mastery or proficiency of English?
Australia.
France?
The US. Here is Donald Trump inventing a new word.
The rest of the world's going to have to pay a little bit more, and America's going to pay a lot less. Again, because it's a much smaller population than when you think of the whole world. So basically, what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good word. I don't know why we didn't have it before, but we didn't. We never did.
No. According to Robert Ford, Professor of Political
He
Science...
knows nothing.
At Manchester University.
Bob.
What did
Bob.
he say? Any
What did he
ideas?
say? He said, oh, I haven't been sober for a month.
He said ratcheting up the language may be a mistake, as holding vehemently anti-immigration views isn't all that common among Labour voters. He told The Guardian, in some ways they're shouting in an empty pub when all the customers moved to the Farage Arms months ago. Or to give it a real-life example, the Talbot pub in Blackpool, the UK's first reform pub.
Right, I'm down at the Talbot Reform Pub, Blackpool. Just had a bit of painting done.
It looks like a real pub with atmosphere, doesn't it? a converted crematorium?
But they only serve bitter.
What has Nigel Farage got more of than any other UK politician?
Is it beers named after him?
It's not.
More legs.
Nor legs. More than any other UK politician, Nigel Farage has got digital clout.
Oh dear, you can get ointment for that.
Apparently, he gets 14 times more engagement in terms of likes, comments and shares than any other political party.
Wow.
14 times
That's
more.
not a high bar, though, is it? I mean...
Well, Ed Davies out there doing good work, isn't he? What hope do the Conservative Party have? Have you got any hope left?
Well, maybe there is this sort of divide opening up, this spat, isn't there? Rupert Lowe,
Yes.
MP, is called...
Nigel Farage a cult.
Yes.
Oh, OK.
And he called him a coward and a viper.
Yeah.
Which is quite a combination.
That could be the name of their new pub, couldn't it? The Coward and the Viper.
Well, according to the former Director of Communications for Reform, Gawain Towler, the Conservative Party have this hope.
I've heard senior Tories say the best thing is that he smokes and drinks, so he's probably going to die before then. If that's the best they've got. Oh, our best chance of winning this election is if Farage has a hernia or something. But if that's your strategy, waiting for him to pop his clogs, seems to be a bit threadbare.
I didn't know you could still get your hair cut in 1947.
Also, is he on ketamine or am I? What has Keir Starmer had to deny doing on a train with Emmanuel Macron?
Oh, yes. Oh. Yes, taking cocaine.
Yeah, exactly right. He had to deny that he, Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz were taking cocaine en route to Kyiv after this video emerged. And look out for the drugs paraphernalia they hide. Macron is apparently hiding a bag of cocaine. Merz is concealing a cocaine spoon.
Yes.
How do you know that?
You don't. It's not true.
Oh.
It forced an official announcement by the Elysee Palace, who had to say it was not a Class A substance. It said, this is a tissue for blowing your nose. The Russian Foreign Ministry were quick to amplify this. They said, it's like the joke, an Englishman, a Frenchman and a German got on a train and did a line. I mean, that is a bit like a joke.
Yeah.
What's the latest calamity being blamed on Ed Miliband's net zero targets?
No, what's he done now?
Curry houses are doomed.
No!
Doomed!
Doomed?
We're all doomed. According to The Sun, tandoor ovens used in many restaurants are gas-powered. It will prove too costly to switch to cleaner electricity. According to The Sun, Shadow Energy Secretary Andrew Bowie said, Red Ed is the Balti bandit, the Korma killer, presiding over a chicken tikka masala meltdown of the Great British Curry House. Hello, Andrew. Are you OK?
The Poppadom pirate.
Hey, thank you. Staying with climate news, what a weather forecast warning is on the horizon?
Drought.
Yes, a spring drought is predicted.
Yes.
Which is a worry for farmers.
Yes, it is.
Especially in Norfolk. This farmer, he apparently grows the country's entire supply of Kit Kats.
Across many parts of the UK, the land is looking parched. On the ground, it already feels like a drought.
Yes, this is Keir Starmer's controversial speech on immigration. Keir Starmer warned that Britain was at risk of becoming an island of strangers. Good, said every Londoner while not looking up from their iPhone. Among the reforms that Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has introduced is a plan to allow migrants in, but they can only... Oh, no. I'll go back and do that again. Among the reforms that Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has introduced is a plan to allow migrants in... Yes, that was right.
I think that technically this means you can't enter the country.
I can't. I've got no command of English. Among the reforms that Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has introduced is a plan to allow migrants in, but only if they can do graduate-level jobs. So that's bar work and pole dancing. Time now for round two. Having travelled the length and breadth of the country looking for Britain's most talented artists, I'm delighted to introduce the animal portrait of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Somewhere across the other side of the building, a toilet is just flushed.
Yeah. Has there been somebody up there for 35 years just waiting for this opportunity? It's a duck that's been tied to a large lump of cheese.
Nope.
It's a duck that's been filmed. Is that a camera?
Yeah, it's a camera.
Speed camera. A duck's been speeding.
Camera.
Is the right answer. A duck.
What?
A duck in Switzerland has been caught speeding in the town of Königs on a speed camera travelling at 32 miles an hour in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. Here is the evidence.
Well, we can't see it moving there, so that's not holding up in a court of law.
Right. That could be the answer to all speeding camera fines. Then, couldn't it? This may not be the first offence this particular duck has committed.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
What else is it suspected of doing?
Shoplifting. Bigamy. Isn't it? You want to say yes, don't you?
I
Whatever
do.
it is in the card.
I wish it was bigamy.
Yeah.
We think this is the second time this duck has been caught speeding.
Really?
Yep. A duck was caught speeding by the same camera at the same speed on the same day 7 years ago.
Oh. Are they sure it's the same duck?
Well, let's have a look. Looks like the same duck to me.
That's the same duck. That is the same duck.
It is, isn't it? Local police have put a quack team on the case.
Is that why we did this question?
Oh, literally.
Yeah, for that joke.
This is a duck in Switzerland caught speeding at 32 miles per hour. In fact, the only time a duck travels faster and more recklessly is if it's travelling with hoisin sauce and pancakes on the back of a Deliveroo bike.
That is true. That's scientific. Your career's come to this.
I went to RADA. Fingers on buzzers, please. Ian.
It's the hawk that always features on this programme.
Yes.
That attacks people. And it's now had therapy. And it's OK again.
Yeah.
And so it's back in the wild, is that right?
It's not back in the wild, but it is doing a lot better. Yeah, this is the news, the hawk. But it was attacking bald men in... You want to pay attention to this?
Yeah.
Attacking bald men in...
Should have been put down in my book.
Yeah. In Flamstead, has been doing very well in rehab.
Oh, that's nice.
You may remember we did cover this story before about a hawk in Hertfordshire.
Yes.
It was attacking villagers for a month before it was captured. Here is the hawk. And what do we know about the hawk's recovery?
He was in the Priory with a lot of other famous hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name some.
Bob Hawke.
Chesney Hawk.
Yeah.
What did the rehabilitation involve?
Is it like exposure therapy that, like, Andy Hamilton sort of got paraded in front of him and he had to... And he was like, hold me back, that sort of thing.
That was the hardest 300 quid I've ever earned.
This is the news that the notorious Flamstead hawk has been tamed. One previously attacked resident was delighted to hear that the hawk had been captured, saying, I am delighted we are not going to be invaded. I'm not a betting man, but I think reform? Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Dolphins can sing.
What? Who said that?
I said dolphins can sing.
Oh, I thought it was a dolphin.
Yeah, they sing to each other. I mean, there's got a dolphin with musical notes coming out of a balloon attached to its snout. So there must be... Dolphins sing to each other. They communicate by singing. Songs on the show.
Yeah, it's not that they... Well, it's they do
whistle.
communicate. They whistle.
They whistle.
They whistle. They have a special whistle. Do you know what it signifies?
Yeah.
That,
I'm here.
that they find another dolphin very attractive.
Like a...
That's only the builder dolphins.
In a new discovery, researchers in the US have noticed that if dolphins detect something strange happening that they don't understand, they make what scientists are calling a WTF whistle.
Oh.
How do you think a dolphin sounds when it's caught by surprise?
That's the clangers, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very close to your Enoch Powell, to be honest. Was Enoch Powell ever in the
That's a dog whistle.
Yes.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Let's hear the dolphin's whistle.
Yeah.
Should we hear that again?
Yeah.
That's
So it's like bird-like,
It does sound suspiciously like a bird, yeah. Are you sure you haven't been had with this story?
In other animal news, what are sea lions better at than humans?
Juggling balls on their nose.
Their nose?
That's true.
Snap.
Architecture?
Architecture's not the right answer, nor is bigamy, just before you go there. According to scientists at the University of California, sea lions are better than humans at keeping a beat. Ronan, a 15-year-old sea lion from California, was taught to bob her head in rhythm and is just as precise, if not better, than humans. Take it away, Ronan.
Why are we being shown this?
This is the news that dolphins have a way of saying WTF. There is also a sea lion that just loves bobbing its head along to disco music, unlike its friends, the seals, who absolutely hate clubbing. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
They've been filming chimpanzees in the wild and they discovered that the chimpanzees self-medicate, and also there was a baby chimpanzee that was rubbing a leaf on a wound that its mother had, and this has not been observed before, and it shows that chimps are very well aware of which plants are medicinal.
Yeah, and they know it's an early health system because there's queues of chimps throughout the whole jungle, about 5 miles long.
Lead researcher Dr. Elodie Freeman of Oxford University is very excited by these findings. If you plop me down in this forest without food or medicine, I doubt I'd last very long, but chimpanzees thrive there. Yeah, but isn't that because they're chimpanzees? What else did researchers observe chimps practising?
Is it that they wipe their butts with leaves?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, they exhibit self-care practices. They wipe their bottoms and they observed cleaning up after sex, hopefully using different leaves.
When you say clean up, do they do laundry? Can I just say that using a leaf to wipe your... I did that when I was a Boy Scout. That's what you did.
What badge were you going for?
I was going for the self-care arse wipers badge.
Chimps aren't the only ones to be learning first aid. Here's the king preparing for every eventuality before breaking the news to Andrew that he's finally being evicted from the Royal Lodge. This is the news that chimps give each other first aid and wipe their bottoms. They don't fancy a job in a care home, do they? It's very rare for a primate to enjoy close proximity to the bottom of another great ape, but Keir Starmer does his best with Donald Trump. Time now for the odd one out round, just one between you this week.
Right.
Gulf of Mexico, W.H. Smith, tartar sauce, and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Yes. Who was that? Who buzzed? Paul.
Yes, this must be about name changes, isn't it? So the Gulf of Mexico, Trump has called it the Gulf of America, and Google in America has been one of the companies that said, yes, it's called the Gulf of America until Trump goes.
It'll end up being the Gulf of Donald.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to see the Gulf of Donald, do you?
Meghan, she can't call herself a Royal Highness, can she? But she has done.
I've decided not to follow stories involving Meghan Markle because I'm prioritising my mental health.
Yeah. W.H. Smith, they've sort of recently had to sort of come off the high streets. They used to be W.H. Smith and Son a long time ago. And tartar sauce has changed its name by reversing the letters. It's become rat sauce.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It is about changing, and she sent a card to a friend.
That's right.
And then put it online.
She's not meant to call herself a Royal Highness, but she did on this card, and so she's the odd one out.
Is the right answer.
Yeah.
So why is the Duchess of Sussex no longer supposed to use her HRH title?
Because she's not a working royal.
Exactly right. When Meghan and Harry moved abroad, Buckingham Palace issued a statement saying the Sussexes will not use their HRH titles as they are no longer working members of the royal family. But then this was spotted on a gift basket of ice cream and homemade strawberry sauce sent by the Duchess.
And a lovely letter M for me.
You've triggered me now.
He's triggered now. Somebody's going to have to sit with him now for the next hour.
Yeah.
A hawk.
Yeah, a hawk.
What is Prince Harry not happy about now?
Is this his security?
Yep.
Well, he lost a court case.
Yeah.
And he lost in the appeal case, and he complained about it again.
Yep, that's exactly right, yep. He lost his case twice for automatic police protection when in the UK. 3 senior judges rejected his appeal in a ruling labelled Crown versus Ginger Bollocks. Although our lawyer has told us that we shouldn't say Ginger Bollocks, he's asked us to point out Crown versus Ginger Bollocks should be the other way round. Ginger Bollocks versus Crown. All of Britain's high street W.H. Smith stores are to be renamed after their sell-off to hobbycraft owner Medela.
They've been taken out by a company called Jones.
They're going to be called T.G. Jones.
T.G. Jones, yes.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking, Ian. Didn't he play centre-half for Everton in the 40s? And you're right, T.G. Jones did. Here he is. What does it make you feel, that name?
Proud.
T.G. Jones. Proud?
My own feeling was that W.H. Smith have, in fact, kept the W.H. Travel shops, which, you know, sell very good magazines at outlets, including railways and airports. So don't give up on Smiths entirely. They're still fulfilling a vital public service.
W.H. Smith's new owners, Medela, say the new name, T.G. Jones, continues the sense of family. Yeah, the sense of getting your nan a load of old tat for Christmas. What have Heinz changed the name of their tartar sauce to?
What was the problem with tartar?
I mean, don't get me started.
OK, all right.
It's now going to be known as, for some reason, fish and chips sauce. According to Heinz's, and this is a real job, Director of Taste Elevation, and his name is Tiago Rapp.
Put C in front of that and you've got a very accurate name.
Yeah. The sauce has been crafted to be the perfect companion for every fish-filled occasion. Is anyone here partial to a fish-filled occasion? I can't think of anything worse than an occasion filled with fish.
No. Now, particularly if it was a warm day.
I mean,
it's not going to be good.
In the Gulf of Donald.
Yeah.
How is the new fish and chip sauce different from the old sauce, the old tartar sauce?
Is it exactly the same?
It's exactly the same. The same basic ingredients as the original tartar sauce, and was described by Heinz as tartar 2.0. Oh. Fuck everything. They have all changed their name, apart from the Duchess of Sussex, who is still using her HRH title despite being told not to. Meghan has admitted calling herself Her Royal Highness to a select group of friends, also to some neighbours, to her business associates, on her LinkedIn, her email signature, all her gas, water, electricity and broadband bills, as well as her Walmart loyalty card. Harry's court case has cost him £1.5 million, which hopefully Meghan can cover by selling 15 pots of jam. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Swimming Pool News. Costs £4.99 plus £1 for the locker. And we start with, man from Billericay breaks world record for what?
World's biggest veneers.
Breaks world record for being a diamond geezer. You're doing my turnip. I'm trying to get that as a phrase.
Doing my turnip?
Doing my turnip. It's a phrase I've come up with the last couple of days. I want to get that into the English language. One day I want somebody on EastEnders to turn to another character and say, you're doing my turnip.
Well, you know what you need to do?
What's that?
You need to find a Swede to say it for you. The answer is man from Billericay breaks world record for catching largest carp. Here is David Knock with his world record-winning £105 carp. Wow. Now that is a fish-filled occasion.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This week, a man fishing in Lake Windermere also netted a massive carp, although that later turned out to be a typo. Next, in 1994, what changed the face of swimming pools forever?
Add in water.
Barukas.
Is it mosaics of Alan Titchmarsh?
I think you're going to kick yourself.
Yeah, go on.
In 1994, the introduction of variable speed ventilation fans changed the face of swimming pools forever. Next, adventurous pensioner plans to spend 6 weeks what?
Wearing somebody else's teeth.
No.
No.
Trying to remember his PIN code.
Adventurous pensioner plans to spend 6 weeks circumnavigating Britain by bus.
Oh.
This is brother John Green. A lot of people find themselves sitting next to a nutter on the bus, but for some reason, it hasn't happened once to John Green. During his journey through Norfolk, he sampled the famous crabs of Cromer. Yes, those bus seats can be a bit unhygienic. Next, shipping container in Leamington Spa proved the ideal place to what?
Ship goods to Leamington Spa. Build a swimming pool.
Is the right answer!
Fantastic. A bit of luck.
The article describes the exciting new facility as an endless pool, before adding approximately 14 feet by 8 feet. Next, Blue Peter legend Valerie Singleton recalls the time she waved at a hot air balloon before what?
Shooting it down with her air rifle.
It was a great episode, wasn't it?
Blue Peter legend Valerie Singleton recalls the time she waved at a hot air balloon before remembering she was topless.
I really don't remember that episode.
No, she was commentating on Troop in the Colour.
Oh,
After realising her mistake, Valerie Singleton said, "I was a bit too late to reach a towel. Luckily, she was able to fashion a bra out of old yoghurt pots and sticky back plastic." Finally, cat which went missing for 3 weeks, what?
Lived on beer. I saw this story in Deal.
Is the right answer. Leah, the cat, was trapped under the neighbour's floorboards for 3 weeks and was found with a half-drunk can of French lager nearby. Here is Leah, the cat, after being rescued. As you can see, absolutely delighted. As was her owner. As soon as the cat went missing, the owners put up posters, though unfortunately the only picture they had was one the cat had texted her boyfriend in private. So, the final scores are Ian and Chloe have 3, but Paul and Andy are this week's winners with 9. But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
All right, well, President Xi is saying, you pour the tea and you drink it first.
Here's a bonus one for you.
Camilla plants a friend for Charles to talk to.
In a moment of compassion, Prince Andrew is given a much-needed drink.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Chloe Petts, Paul Merton and Andy Hamilton, and I leave you with news that at a nursery school in Michigan, one player throws a tantrum insisting they did win that game of Snap. In a crime crackdown in Bolivia, the nation's 3 most prolific shoplifters are paraded through the streets. And in Regent's Park, at their annual group outing, a member of the Society of the Hard of Hearing shouts, "Let's have a big cheer for the organisers." Good night.